Okay, in a video a little different than what I normally do, I am going to kind of just give a walkthrough of where we're at. Stainless tables came. So I've got the little one between the sink and the parts washer. I haven't finished peeling the sticker off that one, and that one even has a drawer. And then this one has wheels on it, so I can push it to wherever I want. But that's not why we're in here. We just did service on the wife's car and swapped her winter tires. Now the old blue truck is in here because the block heater failed last year. And I was like, well, okay, it's cold. I got to make the mess. Nothing you can do. There's no drain or anything, so it just makes a mess. This is the lower radiator hose. You just pull this clip and, you pull that back and you let her buck and it makes a big mess. And then the block heater is in a very lovely location behind that little plate on the mount. But I eventually got the old one out, and now the new one's in. That cord's a replacement cord, so I'm going to use it for now. But now I have a spare, and you can see it's just zip tied up. And then something I do is, because I live in boat country, I like to do just like you would do on your boat for your charging of your trolling batteries. So I put those in the bumper instead of having that thing hang out. Currently in the middle of refilling, and went in because I'd heard from the vet about one of the dogs, and she'll be okay. But that's the side of the Duramax. You can see she's old. It's Minnesota. I mean, there's not a lot you can do about it. It's just going to happen. It's a great truck. I love it. I wish it would last forever. But fixing all that kind of stuff is just not something I can justify the money on. So I'll just keep driving her until I'm forced to replace her. And then, of course, while it's up, I figured if it's already in the shop, it's as good a time as any to rotate tires. So we'll be doing that in a little bit, as I'm slowly getting her filled back up with the new block heater. Let me see what the old one looked like. And for people who don't live in a cold place, the block heater, you plug that in at night when it's 25 below, 30 below, and that keeps your coolant warm. And it sure makes for a nice, easy start, especially on a diesel, as well as heating the cab up real quick, because, boy, that's always a problem. You can see on this guy here that, and this is the factory original, this was really screwed up, that brass screw, but I eventually got it to spin, because it just goes into one of the Welch plugs, and these little ears, it pulls in, and then it pulls it against the block, and they bend in, and it holds it in, and this O-ring is what seals it. Well, if you look on the back side here, you can see it finally corroded away. And as soon as it did that, now the water, being slightly conductive, going from here to here, just shorts this out, and it doesn't work anymore. It stopped being a block heater. So that's what I'm doing. But I was admonished that I was just shooting little videos, even though they were literally just so a buddy could show people what was happening to his car, and that they're very short, and I wasn't explaining what I was doing because I honestly didn't know anybody was watching. And so that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And in fact, that Buick that left, it stole every air horn gasket I could find, so I got to get some gaskets. So I need one for the Impala, and I need one for the black car, and then I had two in all my carburetor crap, because I'm still moving stuff down from the other shop down to this shop. So every time I need something, I pull it down. So none of this stuff's in cupboards yet, because I don't have any cupboards set up in here yet. But you can see, Quadrajet parts, and, well, Quadrajet parts over here too. I didn't bring down Holly stuff for the most part, because I'm not working on a Holly right now. Although I did have somebody who needed a gasket, and I keep those in bulk, so I'll have to get that over to him. And so that's kind of where we're at. Hopefully in another week, when we look in that corner, an auxiliary heater will be there. That's the auxiliary heat, and that was a big part of why this was set up the way it was with the 2 extra ports. Was I'm going to run gas up, over and through, add another flue over here, which is going to have to be higher than that one, but that's not a problem. And then set that so that they don't draw against each other. And then if I really get crazy downstream, I've got another port on there that we could, if we had to, run one more heater either here or over in that corner if I ever needed to. But it stayed above freezing in here even when it was 35 degrees below zero in this room. So it's kind of all I need in this room. Okay. Well, Bill, that was a much longer rambling video. I hope you enjoyed it. You can kind of see what we're doing. Oh, and the brakes for the wife's car. Got to do those. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. As soon as I got one car coming in tomorrow that's got some motor mounts for it. It's just a little Honda Fit. That's not uncommon. And we'll get those popped over. And then we can finally scuff up and clean up that file cabinet for my wife's office. And maybe even spray these doors the right color. And I can get those back in the house and ready to install upstairs. Because it'll be snowing here before you know it. And then I've got to put my tractor away. I think I'll store the neighbor's tractor again this year because there's plenty of room over here. Father-in-law is not storing his car down here. He's got a new space and he can actually store all of his toys at once. So all his cars and toys and trailers and stuff are now stored. So I may stick the Impala on skates, slide her over here, park the tractors up along this row with the car moved over, and then keep this stall available in case I do have to work on anything big this winter. You know, then you go out and move a little snow, and at least I have a giant stall available because a lot of the trucks don't really fit on this little lift. This lift is not the long-term solution in here. Anybody who's been following the pole barn series knows that at that X, there's a giant slug of concrete that goes down a couple feet. And at that X, there's a slug of concrete that goes down a couple feet. And the first time somebody watching one of these videos decides they want to give me $7 grand to put in a 2-post lift, I'll do it. But until then, I already had that lift. We moved it down from the other shop and, you know, it's still working. It's still helping people get their cars going. You know, we do enjoy helping people in our spare time, and, you know, I've definitely got my money out of this Chinese lift. It doesn't owe me anything. And then this bend pack, you know, it's pretty nice. I don't like that you have to have air to release it, though. I didn't realize that when I ordered it. So it is kind of frustrating. So when I get around to piping all the air stuff, I'll have to run an air tube up along all of that so that I can drop air down with the electric for the lifts, because eventually there'll be 2 more lifts in here, you know, when I need them. But I don't own that many cars, so I don't need them yet. And that's a lot of money to spend. So there, that's kind of where we're at. Hopefully everybody's having a lovely weekend. It's Derby tonight, so I got to wrap this up.